Rosemary harvesting is relatively easy, but it is easy to kill the plants.
Stay tuned and I'll go over how not to do that, plus the best time to harvest rosemary, 2 different ways to do it, plus storing and drying tips.
Hi guys, I'm April from Resprout. Like and subscribe for more garden tips and tutorials for my suburban front yard garden where I help you garden like a boss.
Good news! Rosemary is one herb that you can harvest during the entire growing season. It's a perennial in the warmer US zones, 6 and up, depending on your variety. That means you can harvest all year in these areas, though I wouldn't go too crazy on the poor thing during the winter or right before your first frost. In cooler zones, you can bring your rosemary indoors over the winter and you too can harvest all year.
Can we say indoor grocery store?
Personally, I love being able to walk out to my front yard and snip off a couple herbs for dinner anytime I want. If you're looking to do a big harvest and process though, then there is a best time to harvest rosemary. That's going to be before your rosemary plant flowers when the oil content is highest, which is a different time depending on your climate.
I live in zone 7A in the US and mine typically flowers in the summer. That's pretty typical for a temperate climate.
This year though, mine didn't start flowering until October, which is more common in hotter areas like the Mediterranean and California. I think that's because we had a lot of heat waves this year.
Rosemary is one of the easier herbs to pick, but here are some quick tips to make it faster and more efficient.
Firstly, use the right tool. You can harvest the green rosemary by hand, but really, pruners or some herb snips are what you want. If you harvest daily for meals like I do, keep a pair near the door closest to your garden. If you are one of those people who have sensitive skin or are allergic to rosemary oil, you're gonna wanna wear gloves. The oil is pretty intense and you'll get it all over your hands.
Or if you're a freak like me, my alternate tip is not to wear gloves. That way you can snip your hands all day like a weirdo. Yeah.
Thirdly, don't go nuts. If you harvest more than 20% of the plant, you're in danger of killing it, though you might be able to go up to 1/3 in the right situation. Fourth tip, shape while you harvest. If you think about it, harvesting is really just pruning, but in short bursts. So, have a basic idea of how you want the rosemary to look and prune the excess away in stages. You can shape it into a topiary, a Christmas tree shape, wider or more upright. If you want it to spread out more, prune from the top. In my case, I want to get rid of these branches in my walkway that are falling over anyways and not looking too hot. I also want to give my sage some room here. So I'm going to take these branches and prune on the sides to make it less spread out. If you're looking to use a few sprigs for dinner, harvest the ends of the branches where the stems are still green. That way you'll be able to chop or eat the entire thing. If you plan to use your rosemary as a garnish, for stock, tea, or drying, feel free to harvest woodier branches since you're not going to eat the stem directly. To get the leaves off these woodier branches, the trick is to put your fingers, preferably your fingernails, around the stem at the top and gently pull downward, stripping off the leaves as you go. The woody rosemary branches also make great wood for smoking meat because of their smell. They're also great barbecue skewers, which is what I think I'm going to do with mine.
Once you have your rosemary inside, enjoy.
Rosemary is great with meats, seafood, potatoes and grains, bread, Spanish, French, and Italian cuisine, even cocktails. Remember to wash it before eating or preserving. You can store fresh rosemary in the fridge for several days with the stems in a glass of water. For longer term storage, it can be air dried or dried in the microwave, the oven, or my favorite, a dehydrator on the herb setting. I store my bulk dried herbs in mason jars and then transfer the smaller quantities to these cute little customizable spice jars I keep in my kitchen.
For those looking for more in-depth drying instructions and all of these methods, let me know down in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. I hope this video helped you out. Remember to sign up for my email newsletter for more garden resources. And keep gardening like a boss, and I'll see you guys soon.